So what do you think? Do you want a rematch on this one with the same decks?
Yeah, I'm going to play the same one again. If you want to change, that's fine. But you haven't seen what this does yet, so
All right, let's do it again. I'll do a straight up rematch. All right, I'm gonna keep this hand, not land, this hand.
okay. Um, then I'm just going to start it off.
Yep,
Plenty of Vault of Champions. It enters untapped if I have more than two or more opponents. But there's you, so it enters tapped. Go ahead.
I'm going to play Opulent Palace, which enters tapped, and back to you.
Untap, draw. Play Plains. Tap for a Felwar Stone. It gives me 1 mana of any color that the land you control produces.
Excellent.
You go.
Untap, draw for turn. Yeah. I made a mistake when I kept it. Back to you. This is gonna
Okay.
suck.
Draw. Play a Swamp. I'm going to tap my Felwar Stone for green because your land produces green. And I'm going to play a Sky Shroud Claim. Search your library for up to 2 forest cards and put them onto the battlefield. Then shuffle your library. So I'm going to do that. You can go while I do that.
All right, I'll draw for turn. Damn. Well, I have no choice. I'm gonna play Golgari Rot Farm. Enters tapped, and I have to return Opulent Palace to my hand. And I have to give up a card. Damn it. All right, I'm giving up this one. Back to you.
Of my Sky Shroud Claim, I found Haunted Mire and Radiant Grove. So untap, draw, play this land, tap, pay 3 for Kodama's Reach, and you can go while I do that. Find 2 basic lands.
Untap, draw. Okay, I'm gonna play Opulent Palace. Enters tapped. And then I'm gonna play Farseek. Search your library for a Plains, Island, Swamp, or Mountain card. Let's see if I can find an island. And then pass to you.
At the end of your turn, going to pay green and black for Grizzly Salvage. I will reveal the top 5 cards of my library. I can put a creature or land from among them into my hand, and the rest into the graveyard. So reveal Plains, Sir Conrad, Altar of Dementia, Forest, and Stitcher Supplier. I'm going to take the Sir Conrad into my hand, and the rest goes into my graveyard. Go to my turn. Untap. Draw. Play a Sandstep Citadel. Okay, going to pay 5 for Sir Conrad. Sir Conrad is a human knight. Whenever a creature dies or a creature is put into a graveyard from anywhere other than the battlefield, or a creature card leaves my graveyard, he deals 1 damage to each opponent.
Oof. Damn.
So
That's gonna be
when
quick.
you mill or when I reanimate or when things die, he will hit. And also I can pay 2 to have each one of us, each player mill a card.
Does
Yep,
he hit for each card or he just hits once?
for each card, for each creature.
Damn. Okay.
Then I'm gonna pay 3, and I'm gonna read the bones. Read the bones lets me scry 2, then I draw 2 cards, then I lose 2 life. So scry 2. I'm gonna send 1 to the bottom and 1 to the leave 1 on top. Draw 2, take 2 damage, and end my turn. You can go.
I'm gonna play a forest. 4. Okay, I'm casting Teval,
Mhm.
and then turn passes to you.
All right. Untap. Draw. Going to play a plaint. Two for Talisman of Unity. Gives me mana. White or green. Pay 4 for Cultivate. Sorry, not 4 for a Sanguinary Priest. 2/4 with lifelink. Whenever another creature you control dies, he deals 1 damage to any target.
Okay.
And then I'm going to pay 3 for the Cultivate that I showed you.
Mm-hmm.
Find 2 basics. Forest, Swamp. Forest goes to the battlefield, Swamp to my hand. Um, yeah, I'm gonna pass the turn after that.
All right. Untap for turn. I'll draw for turn. I'm gonna play the Kishla Skimmer for the blue and the green here. Kishla Skimmer, flying, Bird Scout. Whenever a card leaves your graveyard during your turn, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. And I'm gonna play Sakura Tribe Elder for these 2. Sacrifice this creature. Search your library for a basic land card. Put that card onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle.
Gonna sacrifice him right away.
Well, it actually doesn't do anything for me right now, does it?
Well, you get a basic land put onto the battlefield tapped, so that's what
Yeah,
it does.
but realistically, I can do that during my second main phase, right?
You can do that whenever.
Yeah, so we'll hold on to that actually. Um, and I'm gonna play Memorial of Folly, which enters tapped. Then I'm going to move to attack. I'll attack with my Teval. As that happens, we'll mill 3. Welcome to the dead. Welcome the dead, sorry. Then Forest and the Wonder Creature Incarnation.
When
And
you
we're gonna,
mill Wonder, you take 1 point of damage from
yep,
Sir Con.
right. So that's 3 damage, right?
1 damage.
Okay.
It's one creature. It's only creatures that he cares about.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Wonder. Okay. And then the basic land enters, which means I get my zombie druid for Teval, and I get to draw a card for my bird scout. Okay. And then that's the attack. So I'm attacking with Teval.
I'll take 4. I don't have flyers.
Okay. I'll stop there. Pass the turn to you. No sacrifice.
At the end of your turn, I'm going to pay 2, and we both mill a card. Austere command.
Skull Prophet.
Take 1 point of damage from Sir Conrad.
Hmm.
Untap. Draw. Okay. For my land for turn, I'm going to play a Bajuka Bog and exile your graveyard.
Okay. Here it goes.
Okay.
You say you're exiling my graveyard. That means you're exiling the cards in the graveyard. I can still have a graveyard, or does I simply don't
Yeah,
get a
no, it's just when this enters, everything in your graveyard gets exiled, and then you can refresh it, but it's currently empty. So
Gotcha.
nothing in your graveyard right now. How big is the Kishla Skimmer?
It's a 2/2.
Okay. I'm going to attack you with both of my creatures. 5/4 and a 2/4.
I'll take both. Oh, actually, wait.
Okay.
No. Sorry. Um, 5/4 and a 2/4. I will block your 5 with my Sakura Tribe Elder.
Okay. And then before damage, you're going to sacrifice him?
Yep.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. So you take 2 points of damage, and
Mm-hmm.
then 1 from you sacrificing your thing. I gain 2 life from my Sanguinary Priest, who has lifelink.
Okay.
Played my land wrong, but that's fine.
I'm putting a island tapped.
Okay. Pass the turn to you.
All right. Untap. So what are your creatures again? Can you remind me? There's Sir Conrad, who gives me a 1 damage every time a creature gets into any graveyard, right?
Yep.
And what is
And whenever and the Sanguinary Priest, whenever a creature I control dies, he deals 1 point of damage to any target. Since he has lifelink, when he deals that damage, I gain the life. So essentially,
Gotcha.
when something of mine dies, I ping you for 1 damage and I gain the life.
Gotcha. And the other one is every time I put something in my graveyard that's a creature, I lose a life.
Or I.
Or
You
you.
or me.
Okay.
Hmm.
Nice. Okay, I'm gonna draw for turn. I'm gonna play a Swarm for turn.
Hmm.
Um, at the moment I'm getting this little arranged. Okay, so if I do okay, so I would like to cast Casualties of War, which is a sorcery for this mana. 2 forests, 2 swamps, and a forest. So that's 5, and my island makes it 6. Does that pass?
You have to declare your targets.
Oh, okay. So I thought I would. Okay, good. So I would like to target your Sir. What's his name? Sir Cedric William, the one that. What is
Sir
that name again?
Conrad.
Sir
Sir
Conrad.
Conrad.
And then you have.
I have 2 artifacts, Felwar Stone and Talisman of Unity.
Can you remind me
No
which?
enchant. This one, Talisman of Unity gives me colorless or black and or white, and Felwar Stone gives me mana equal to a mana you could produce.
So the other
uh,
one gives you two, or it just gives you either
no,
one?
it hits me for one if I wanted to provide me a color, or it gives me colorless. This one just gives me one of a color that a land you control produces.
Good. So I will destroy the Fellow War Stone if it passes.
That's a
Uh,
target.
yeah. Do you have any enchantments on board?
Nope.
No. Okay, so we have an artifact, creature. There's no enchantment, and we don't have no planeswalkers, and we have a land. So, I want to destroy like a land that like one of those filter lands, not a basic land. What lands do you have? Because I can't really read that.
So the one that gives me all the colors is Sandstep Citadel. That gives me
Mm.
all three colors. It's the equivalent to your Opulent Palace.
Okay, so I
And
think, yeah,
yeah,
and
then I have several that give me dual colors, but this one provides me three
yeah.
different colors. One of
So
three.
yeah, so I want to destroy that one. The what is it
Okay.
called again?
Sandstep Citadel.
Yeah. So does it pass?
Okay, so those are your targets. You paid your costs. I'm going to respond.
Yeah.
Okay, so before it resolves, I mean, it is going to resolve, but I'm going to put some to activate my Sir Conrad several times. I'm going to activate them once, paying green black, so we both mill a card.
Question to you before we do that. I'm curious. So how can you activate him now? Because he's a creature, right? So you have an instant somehow, or how does it work?
He has an activated ability. I pay 2 mana, and we both mill a card.
Gotcha. And you can do that anytime. An activated ability is like an instant, yeah?
Yeah, he doesn't tap for it. I just have to pay the cost. So I'm going to pay it once right now, so we both mill a card.
Yep. Okay. Mine
I
is still
mill.
both. Sorry, what was that?
Okay, so we both mill the creature, so you're going to take 2 damage.
Yep.
I'm going to do it again. I'm going to activate him one more time, paying black and one more. I am milling a creature,
I'm milling another creature. Yep.
so we
The
take two
timeless
more,
witness.
paying black and one more, once again. So we mill another. I'm milling a creature,
I'm milling an instant putrefy.
so you take one. I'm going to activate him one more time. I'm milling a land.
I'm milling a land as well.
Okay, so no damage. I'm going to tap the Sandstep Citadel and the Plains to activate him again. Milling a land.
I'm milling an instant.
Okay. Then I'm going to tap the Felwar Stone and my Talisman of Unity to activate him again. I'm milling a creature,
I'm milling a creature.
so you take 2 more damage. Okay,
All right.
so now that's all my responses, and you're going to destroy my 3 things.
Yes.
Okay. Another creature is dying, so my Sanguinary Priest is activating. Do any of your creatures have 1 toughness?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to hit you for 1 damage, and I'm going to gain 1 life. And you can proceed with your actions. So
All
this was
right.
all in response to your Casualties of War. Casualties of War has resolved,
Mm-hmm.
and we're still in your first main phase.
All right. Cool. So I'm gonna play Dorothy Voidwalker for 2 black mana. It's a creature, Dorothy Rogue with Shadow. This creature can block or be blocked by only creatures with Shadow. If a card will be put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, instead exile it with a void counter on it. And I can sacrifice this creature. Choose an exiled card an opponent owns with a void counter on it. You may play it this turn without paying its mana cost. Any response?
Nope.
Okay, so Dorothy Voidwalker enters the field.
Should
And
have
just so,
played that you should have played that one before the Casualties of War,
why?
because you would have gotten the cards that were milled and the cards that you destroyed. You would have
Uh,
gotten them under the Doughty White Walker.
okay. Well, yeah, that makes sense. I didn't think of that. Okay, good. That's good to know. And then I would like to attack you with Teval, my zombie druid, and the Kishla Skimmer. As we're attacking, I'm milling 3 cards. I have an enchantment, Teval's Judgment. I have a Conduit of Worlds, an artifact, and Will of the Sultai, a sorcery. So let's enter a land. There's no lands in here now, are there? Oh, no, there's one. Crypt of Agadim is here. Woo. Crypt of Agadim. Because of that, I get another zombie druid. Who's not attacking because he's just now came to be. And I get to draw a card. And then what does this do? Okay. And then, yeah, that's my attackers.
That's 8 damage total.
Yes. 4 commander.
Yep.
And then turn passes to you.
Okay. Untap. Draw. I'm going to pay 7 mana. I'm going to cast my commander for its mutate ability. So I would like to mutate onto my sanguinary priest. If this is successful, then I'm going to reanimate 10 total power of creatures from my graveyard. Does this happen?
Yes.
Okay. So he mutates on top. So I'm going to reanimate total of 10 power in creatures. Sir Conrad,
Oh,
World Shaper, that's 8. Delphi Voidwalker, when anything could you read the Delphi Voidwalker again, please?
yeah. So we have Shadow at first, right? And then
Yeah.
if a card would be put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere,
Oh,
instead exile it with a void counter on it.
okay. 8. And I'm going to get Bartolomé del Presidio. That's actually his name. Okay, so Sir Conrad, you know.
Yeah.
World Shaper, when he attacks, I mill 3 cards. When he dies, I return all lands from my graveyard to the battlefield tapped.
Wow.
And Bartolomé del Presidio, he says, sacrifice another creature or artifact to put a +1/+1 counter on him.
Right.
So
So
the
here's the thing.
problem.
If I had, uh-huh.
Mhm.
So here's the thing, right? If I had played the Dorothy Voidwalker in such a way, I play it first, then I would have been able. Well, it says like if a card would be put, so that would that have applied to the cards you already have in your graveyard? I don't think so, right?
They would not have gone to the graveyard, so they would have circumvented Sir Conrad because
Oh,
my card would never have gone.
right. You mean the one? So the ones that I actually added to the graveyard.
Yeah, including Sir Conrad, my land and the Felwar Stone would have been gone forever, and you would have been able to play them.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
definitely don't want you to have my Sir Conrad.
Yeah. Of course you don't. That makes sense. Good. Good. Good lesson. Good. Ah! Okay. Go for it.
Oh,
It's still your turn.
yes.
Damn it.
I'm going to play a command tower for turn. And Delphi Voidwalker is actually a big ass problem for me
Uh-huh.
because he essentially shuts off my deck.
Right.
So, because now things will not be dying because, well, they will be dying but not going to the graveyard, so none of my things will happen anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, well, I'll be attacking you with a 5/5 death touch.
Okay.
So I'm attacking you for 5.
Right, but so Death Touch doesn't apply to the caster, right? Only applies to creatures, correct?
Only creatures, yes.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'll take the damage.
All right, you take 5. I gain 5 because of my lifelink. And I pass the turn to you.
Hmm. Okay. I untap. Something tells me maybe I shouldn't have taken that damage, huh?
I don't know. Well, you're at 22 now, so
I'll draw for turn.
no.
All right. I'm going to play Victimize for here's my black. And I'll do black and green here. To play Victimize, choose 2 target creature cards in your graveyard, sacrifice a creature. If you do, return the chosen cards to the battlefield tapped. Any does that happen?
Targets? Choose your targets.
Targets. My targets are Diviner of Mist and Timeless Witness.
Okay.
Does it happen?
You still have to choose who you're sacrificing.
I'm sacrificing my zombie druid.
Okay. No responses.
Okay.
When you sacrifice your zombie, you take 1 damage from Sir Conrad.
You take damage.
You take damage.
No, you take damage. No, I got it. I got it. All right. Okay. So then I want to play Grapple with the
No,
Past.
no. Resolve
Resolve what?
your creatures.
Yeah, what about them?
They have effects,
Oh, but they enter tapped. Oh,
but they enter.
okay. When this creature enters, return a target card from your graveyard to your hand. So, okay, thank you. So I'm gonna regain Will of the
Also,
Sultai.
Unofficial Skimmer triggered when they came out of the graveyard.
Okay, thank you. Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna regain Will of the Sultai for the Human Shaman, the Timeless Witness, and I draw a card for the Kishless Skimmer. And then what does the dragon have? Flying. Whenever this creature attacks, mill 4 cards. You may cast an instant or sorcery spell from the graveyard with mana value 4 or less without paying. If that spell would be put into a graveyard, exile it instead. So this is on attack. But the human. So anything else I'm missing? I don't think so, right? Whenever a card leaves your graveyard, draw a card. This happens only once during each turn. Triggers once. And then, oh yeah, and then we have Teval. Whenever 1 or more cards leave your graveyard, create a 2/2 black zombie druid. Okay.
It replaced itself when you sacrificed it.
Right. Yeah, so that was actually a better move than I even thought, actually, because I didn't realize this part.
You actually have 2 of them because the Timeless Witness also took a card out of your graveyard.
No, but it says here, whenever 1 or more cards leave your grave, 1 or more cards leave your graveyard, create
Yeah,
a.
but there were 2 instances of it. So the Victimized took things out, and the Timeless Witness, to its own effect, took them. That's 2 separate instances of a card leaving your graveyard.
Oh, I see. Okay. So it's 2 here. Correct?
Yes.
All right. Okay. So it's Teval. So this is only one. So I think I got them all now.
I think I'm just dead here.
You think?
Yeah, do you want me to tell you the play?
Um,
You have it in
yeah.
your hand.
Is it the Will of the Sultai?
Yeah, that's the game
I
winning
thought
play.
it would be, right? Because it's target player mills 3 cards, and it says put target player mills 3 cards, return all land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So that doesn't do anything for me because there are no land cards in my graveyard. However, Second one is put X +1/+1 counters on target creature, where X is the number of lands you control. It gains trample until end of turn.
But it
So,
actually does do something for you because first you mill and then you return. So you have
oh,
your commander in place, so you do both of them anyways.
well, so let me
You can
do it
choose
then.
to do,
Let's see how it
yeah.
goes. So I play Will of the Sultai for let's do the green, and then we need four more. So we'll do one, two, three, and four. Will of the Sultai, choose one. If you control a commander instead, you may choose both instead. So I choose both. Target player mills 3 cards. Return all land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So we'll mill those three. One, two, three. So there was one land among them. So that comes back in. As a result, this goes up one.
Yes.
As a result, I draw a card.
No, that you only once each turn. You already did that.
Sorry. Okay, apologies. So that is happening. Um,
Count your lands.
count my lands. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
So you're going to put the 10 counters on your commander. So it will be
Yeah,
a 14-14. I already took 8 commander damage. He swings in and hits me because I don't have any flyers and no responses.
yeah. All right.
That's, yeah,
And does all of that happen?
yes.
All
So,
right.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me just, yeah, game over, man. GG.
Thank you. Yeah, so okay, my miss.
I
Okay.
misplayed my Bojuka Bog because I had so the turn where I exiled your graveyard, I had all this mana to activate Sir Conrad, right?
Hmm?
And I should have done that. And after I'm done with resolving all my stuff, then I exile your graveyard. And I actually thought about that, but then I didn't want to do it takesies backsies, right? So it's a little, because I'm the more experienced one. So
Mm-hmm.
that was a misplay on my part. I don't think it was a game-winning play, but it would have given you less options to do. The Will of the Sultai would have been gone because
Mm,
I milled that for you, right? So that was a misplay on my part. But now essentially I had to fish for removal for the Doughty Voidwalker
mm,
because my deck is about cycling my graveyard, right? And sacrificing my own creatures and getting them back. I had the mana part, as you saw from the first hand, was 5 lands and 2 ways to get more lands. So
mm-hmm.
that was an excellent first hand for this deck. But then you essentially the Delphi Voidwalker now ruined me, right? I had 2 ways to get things out of my graveyard. But then everything else put it on field, put things into my graveyard, but they wouldn't have gone to the graveyard because of the Delphi Voidwalker. So it's an excellent card for graveyard decks, like against graveyard decks.
Yeah.
And I didn't, I forgot that that was in the pre-constructed deck. It's just such an excellent card, and I now have to fish for it. And the Victimize was well played because first off, you could sacrifice a zombie who would replenish itself because 2 other cards were leaving the graveyard, so it got right back. The Timeless Witness getting back the Will of the Sultai was the game-winning play.
Yeah.
So and I could have avoided it slightly by playing my Bajuka Bog properly, right? Milling you first and then exiling your graveyard before your turn. It would have bought me a turn or two.
Mm.
I don't know if you already had the Delphi Void Walker in hand or if there was potential to mill him on my turn.
No. Oh,
That's
Millingham, maybe. I didn't check that now.
Yeah. So, but that's on me. You almost saw what this deck was supposed to do because, yeah, I mean, Sir Conrad is just one way for me to hit you with things dying or things going to the graveyard.
Mm,
This deck has 5 different ways to hit you, 6 different ways to hit you for things on my side dying,
mm,
and 2 ways for things on your side dying. So there's potential to just hit you for a bunch, but the Delphi Voidwalker shuts it off almost entirely, right? From the point it enters, then I can't cycle through my graveyard. And you were able to get back up to 4 lands, even though you had to discard. There's something to be said about your mentality in regards to like, oh, that sucks. It actually doesn't, right? So you could have sacrificed. So in the beginning, you played the land which had to bounce and it would enter tapped, right?
Hmm.
And then because then you would have had one more card, or you would have you had 8 cards in hand, but you get things back from your graveyard. So there was an opportune moment to discard something that was high costed, a creature or something, or a card in your hand that maybe had flashback, something that you knew you could get back with your commander or with another card. So with things that play with the graveyard, it's not that bad to discard,
Mm.
right? And sometimes it's innocuous, right? The Ghost Rider is a good thing to discard, or anything that has unearth or flashback. These are things that you can later on take advantage of. Or if you have another card in hand, like the Timeless Witness or its older brother, Eternal Witness, does the same thing, is slightly cheaper
Mm.
and older, but does the same thing and cannot be eternalized. But yeah, it's Eternal Witness and Timeless Witness, they get a card back to your hand. So if you have that in hand and you discard something, well, later on you can use it. So it's with graveyard decks, it's usually okay to discard. But it's bad to get screwed on the mana. But you had the mana, it just, it was an opportunity just to discard something. So don't look at it necessarily as totally a bad thing, because the graveyard is something that you use frequently for both creatures and for lands. Even discarding a land at that point, another tapped land wouldn't have been that bad necessarily, right? Because you can get the land back for sure with your commander. So, discarding and sacrificing, don't be afraid of it with that type of deck.
Mm.
Even your Egra deck, since it has black and green in it, you can put cards in there that get things back from your graveyard once you get access to them, or even in the commons and uncommons you grab. There are a couple of commons and uncommons that maybe they cost 4 mana, but you get two creature cards back to your hand. And if you go into rare and mythic rarity cards, they would do it for 2 or for 3 mana, or they would return it into the battlefield. But you have to build up to something like that. So it's not a bad way to look at it. Like the graveyard is a resource. It's not all is lost. But me knowing that, I wanted to put as much things in your graveyard and then exile it with the Bajuka Bog, which I had from the first hand. I just, at the point where I played it, I played the sequence wrong. Anyways, so I think you recovered really, really well. The game-winning play was 3 cards that you played in that turn, and I had no responses. The Dalthi Voidwalker, I mean, if you were a more experienced player, then I would have thought you played the Dalthi Voidwalker to avoid me doing anything on my side. But I think on your end was more like, I have the 2 black mana, and the
Yeah.
effect is nice. It's
Yeah.
cute. It's actually way more powerful than you think.
Well, I feel like that's happening a lot to me with like anything that has death in it, like death touch. All of these cards, they're kind of mysterious to me. It's because I think I'm still so used to the fact of thinking of the graveyard as that's the end of it, you know? So like what you're saying, it's exactly there. And but actually the other thing is I didn't like when I read the Dorothy Voidwalker, I basically read it as from now on, you know? So I didn't consider that the moment I play it, those cards that you are going to discard are then already part of that. You know, I have a real trouble with that because I kind of think of it in terms of turns, like everything happens on my turn and then your stuff resolves. But it's not like that. There's lots of in between. Like once this card is on the battlefield, immediately that does something. So that's still like a thing, you know, considering it's not really the stack per se, but it's kind of in that feel, right? Like where does it happen? Same kind of deal with the Sakura Tribe Elder. You know, I'm like, wait a minute, you know, of course, you're kind of harumped. Wow, you want to sacrifice that now? When in truth, you know that this is a thing you've done with me a number of times, right? If you're going to sacrifice a creature, you might as well hold on to it until it can defend once and then sacrifice it. Why the hell not, right? So, and those
And
kinds of things.
if I hadn't attacked you, then you still wanted that land in play at the beginning of your turn. So you would have done it at the end of my turn, even if I hadn't attacked, right? Because you wanted that land.
That's right. That's right.
But it enters tapped anyways. So the thing is, anything that says sacrifice and doesn't tap to after it is very, very powerful, because it means like sacrifice this artifact, sacrifice this creature to such and such effect, or sacrifice another creature, and there's no tap symbol. It's some of the most powerful things, because that's essentially what is called a free sack outlet, right? It's a way to get something without paying any extra cost except itself. And that's extremely powerful because, and also then if it says do this only as a sorcery, not that great. But if it doesn't have any clauses of when it can be done, even better, right? So yeah, these are things that are highly synergistic. Like, so you can do your sorcery, but in response to your sorcery, you activate instants or activated abilities that don't have a timing restriction, stuff like that. Or you look at the interaction. Maybe you even wanted to destroy your own land because that would have been good for you. There's potential for that, or your own creature.
Well, you know what all of this tells me? The biggest thing it tells me is that I don't need any more cards at the moment. I don't need them because I've been playing this Teval deck now, which is a precon as it comes, and Solterra Risen, and I'm still learning about it. And I've played it against a bunch of people, played it against you, and I'm still, even my own cards, I'm still getting at it. And I'm almost at the point where I feel like now if I were to look at all the cards, I'd be like, okay, I know what this does, I know what this does. Wait a minute, I have never seen what this does. And I actually really liked the play, where I'm killing your Sir Conrad, and then you said, what? Well, before you do, I have this activated ability, because I never like activated ability. What the hell? Like, why is that good? Because I've seen this on a bunch of cards, and it never makes any sense to me. Like, why would I? It's like I already played it. That's another problem that I have. Like another preconceived notion. I'm like, once it's played, it's played. That's done. And unless it says it gives me counters, it's done. So activated abilities are like a new thing for me. And it's also interesting because I typically want to use all of my mana. I think that's a good policy, but as I'm learning that there are things that I can do in response, it's better not to play all the mana. So that's a really interesting thing.
Regarding mana efficiency, so in the first 5 turns or 4 turns, well, in a casual game, 4 to 5 turns, you want to curve out. And this what means you want to play a land and use all your mana to play one or more, right? So essentially, one land, you use that mana for like an Elvish Mystic, costs 1 mana, gives you 1 mana, right? So that's or you play you land on turn 1 and play a Soul Ring, and the Soul Ring to use for the Arcane Signet. So you want to be very efficient about it. And then later on, especially in the different colors, you have blue in that deck. Blue has counter magic. So if you're going to, you might have the counter spell in hand. They're counter spells 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 9, like counter spells for that amount of mana. Sometimes you want to keep that because you have an instant that does something. In the deck of yours, you have an instant that's called Grisly Salvage. You look at 5 cards, put one creature or land into your hand, the rest in the graveyard. It's an instant, costs you 2 mana, black and green. So since it's an instant, maybe you have something that could destroy,
Well,
right?
well,
An
that one,
Assassin's Trophy or something has
it's
also
kind of
been pretty.
funny. It's kind of funny you actually talk about Grizzly Salvage, because I had at the end now. I had Grizzly Salvage in hand, and I had the other card that lets me take one from the graveyard. Like the Timeless Witness did it for me, but
Mhm.
I actually had another card that allowed me to do it in case that Timeless Witness thing didn't turn out. Because I totally spaced on the fact that the Timeless, like I saw it, but I thought and I made the confusion, right? Timeless Witness entered even though tapped, so it's still activated. And I thought, oh, this activates when I have it active or something?
Important is it didn't activate, it triggered.
Hmm.
So this is the Timeless Witness is a triggered ability because it says when it enters, that's the trigger, this happens, right? Doesn't matter if it enters tapped, stunned, flipped over, as long as it's the phase where this ability states so is there, it will trigger. That's a triggered ability. Common triggers are enter play, dies, or enter play and dies, or attacks. These
Hmm.
are the most common triggers, right? But then what I did with Sir Conrad is an activated ability. It had a cost, and I could choose when to do so, right? Because it didn't have any timing restriction. So the activated abilities have a cost, right? Either sacrifice another creature to do this, pay this mana to do such and such. That's an activated ability. But things like when this enters, or when this enters, when this dies, when this attacks, those are called triggered abilities. Same with Teval. When another card leaves your graveyard, create a zombie. That is a triggered ability. That's why I always say trigger, right? Because it's a triggered ability. Activated ability can only be done if the cost is paid, but triggered ability is when the condition is met. So the terminology is actually rather important for the rules, for rules' sake. So does this activate? No, it triggers. That's important because there are other cards that synergize off of things triggering or activating. Like when an effect of another permanent you control triggers, it triggers an additional time. When you activate an activated ability of another permanent, it activates another time. So the wording on things is important. See, that you know how I'm always like technically this means such and such, right? In our conversations even. This is part of the reason why I am like that, is that words matter, right? So it's an important, it matters more as you go forward and as you understand the synergies between cards, is because then if you understand it, so this enters, it triggers this, but by triggering this synergy is activated, and this enables me to activate this ability, so and so forth, right? You see the chains or the lines of play, right? So chains of triggered effects can happen, right? One trigger, this creature enters. A chain happened in this play right now, right? You play Victimize, and you choose your targets, then you choose the creature you're going to sacrifice. All right, cool. So now we start resolving, and during the resolution of that, things leaving your graveyard and things going to your graveyard triggered things. And then those things doing their triggers triggered other things. So this is where the headache starts to happen. But then eventually it's just like, oh yeah, cool. This is what I like to do. I really like this type of graveyard triggers happening. Things coming out, going in, disappearing, replacing themselves. That's my kind of game, right? So my favorite colors in Magic are actually black and green. So more black than green, but black and green are my favorite colors because that's things that they enable.
Yeah.
So you played it well, and the only thing that I consider to have almost been a misplay is to sacrifice the. Actually, when I asked you if you're going to sacrifice the Sakura, I was just asking if you were going to sacrifice it to see if I hit you with one with Sir Conrad or not. It would have been okay to get it. It wasn't necessarily bad. I would have attacked anyways, but that's so it wasn't for efficiency on your side. It was see if my thing triggered, right? Because I wanted to do my thing. So
that was a potential misplay, and then the other one was the Voidwalker, like that. I should have like played the other one for that one first, so that I could possibly get my hands on Sir Conrad. Because I think if I hadn't gotten Will of the Sultai, you probably would have gotten me. Actually,
no,
you don't think
I
so?
would no, because I would at this point I needed to draw cards. I needed to fish for things because your Voidwalker doesn't matter when he appeared, he fucked me, right? He could have fucked me more if you had played him earlier, but he did anyways by the time you played him. So that card shuts off this deck in particular because I have very few answers that are like pinpoint. And since I cycle my graveyard, I get most of my value for things that are in play. My hand is not that important, right? It's mostly that I spew out on the first couple of turns, and then I just recycle, right? Put things into play, get them back, sacrifice them, get them back, sacrifice them, get them back, and off of small things, I get incremental value. The Void Walker is something I had to. That's why I attack with my creature. Maybe he'll do a misplay and block, right? So but that's why I preempted. My problem is now the Void Walker, so I'm just going to go attack, and I would have just kept attacking until I was dead, or he was dead, and then I could continue my play. But the
Mm.
following turn, you did the Will of the Sultai thing, which I think was, I mean, I think you had already seen it as soon as you got the Will of the Sultai back.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't have gotten it back if I hadn't mentioned the Timeless Witness, because you
Right.
didn't compute it properly at the time, right?
Well,
So
well, well, here's what I'm saying. If I still would have gotten it because the Timeless Witness thing triggered, but I didn't realize it was triggered. I had a card in my hand that allowed me to get something from the graveyard back anyways, and I had the mana for it. So even if I hadn't seen the Timeless Witness, and even if, because whether you see it or don't see it, it should happen, right? If you were to play online, it would automatically happen, right? So, um, point
well,
being, it's a thing that happens, right? So even if you hadn't called that out, I still would have had something in my hand to get Will of the Sultai. So if that was the winning play, I would have had it, and I did see it. But yeah, very interesting. I mean, the truth is, I think if I hadn't had that card that allowed, I forgot the name of it now, but that allowed me to destroy a creature, a planeswalker, an artifact, I would not have
Casualties
been
of
able.
War.
Yeah, I would not have been able to get out of this because you had too many pieces of your engine in play, I think.
Yeah, I mean, at the point where you played it, I mean, I had Sir Conrad, and I didn't have anything else. So, I mean, Sir Conrad is a threat. He's doesn't if someone puts him in in their deck, he's a piece. I mean, sometimes he's just a value piece, but more often than not, he's a win condition.
Mm.
And actually, in this deck, he's just my fastest win condition. He's not my only one. So he's actually the most expensive one because he costs 5 mana to play. And all the others I have in the deck cost 1, 2, and 3. So there is he's not he's one of my favorite cards though because he just goes into anything where things are being killed, discarded, or milled. So he's just a great value piece for black decks. He even goes into your Igra deck
Mm.
because he doesn't only trigger off of yours. He triggers off. He's worded weirdly. Is like whenever something dies, so meaning goes from the battlefield to the graveyard. Whenever something is milled, so you can do that, or when something leaves your own graveyard. So there's 3 different strategies that sometimes intersect, right? So attacking and blocking kills things. Um, Milling is you're trying to empty someone's library, right? And the other one is reanimating, right? You reanimate from your own graveyard to get things back. So he is part of any of these 3 strategies. And to top it off, he's a 5/4, right? So he's not a small dude. He can
Mm.
you almost never want to attack with him, but you want to block with him when able and not die. So I think he might be in that deck of yours because you do mill. I don't think maybe he's in that Teval deck.
I
If
don't think so.
not, he's uncommon from way back when. I actually have 6 of them,
Oh, okay,
and it's 6 or 7 because I opened a bunch of that set.
that's cool.
And and initially I didn't think he was as good as he is because he's expensive for that effect, but he's just expensive. And I used him as a commander, and I was just he would hit the field, he would get killed. So he's much better as a part of the deck rather than a commander. But
Yeah.
yeah, you did right by destroying him with whatever effect you had available. I mean, Casualties of War is not the most efficient thing, but it is versatile, right? It destroys up to 5 things of different types. So it's a good thing, and you do have Putrefy in the deck, and you might want to get your hands on Mortify, which is something similar. Putrefy and Mortify. No, Mortify is white black. There's others, right? So you're not making adjustments to the deck. I think it's a very good deck, and there's Teval on the field. I should definitely try to kill him more, but I just don't have that much destruction or exile effects in my decks because they're not made for one-on-one.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense.
Not at face value, anyways.
Yeah. Okay, man. It's good to see you. Have a great day.
You too. Have a
Take
good one.
care. All right, bye.
Bye.